Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to build the digital blueprint for medical professionals. So if you're a doctor, a dentist, or any kind of specialist who wants to connect with more patients online, this is for you. This is your step-by-step playbook.
So let's just jump right in with a really basic question. Think about it. In today's world, when someone feels a new ache or pain, or they realize they need a specialist, where is the very first place they go to find an answer?
Well, the answer has completely flipped on its head. The patient journey, it doesn't begin with a big, heavy phone book anymore. Nope. It starts right here in a simple search bar. And that single shift changes literally everything about how your practice needs to operate online.
To make sense of it all, we're going to follow that exact patient journey. We'll start by getting inside their head. Then, we'll build your digital foundation so they can actually find you. After that, we'll talk about how to earn their trust online. And finally, how to turn that trust into a real, booked appointment.
Okay, first up, let's really get a handle on the core challenge here. Marketing a medical practice. It is not like marketing a new pair of sneakers or a local restaurant. The rules are just fundamentally different.
And this, right here, is the key. The stakes are incredibly high. Patients aren't just customers. They're looking for a partner, someone they can trust with their health. And that means all those aggressive, salesy tactics, they don't just fail, they actually push away the very people you're trying to help.
Which brings us to the single most important principle in all of medical marketing. It's something Google itself uses to rank health content, and it's called EAT. That's expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. Your entire digital presence, everything you do, has to be built on proving these three things.
So, how in the world do you build that EAT? Well, it all starts with your digital foundation. Seriously, before you spend a single dollar on ads or even 1 hour on SEO, you have to get this part right.
And at the heart of that foundation is this one simple question. See, vague promises like, we offer excellent care, just become background noise. You need a crystal clear, unique service proposition, a USP, that speaks directly to a specific person with a specific problem.
And wow, this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you've got this generic, forgettable statement. But look at the other side. It's specific. It's powerful. It tells you exactly who the patient is, what the unique approach is, and the philosophy of care. That is what builds instant authority and makes the right person think, okay, I am in the right place.
All right, with that strong foundation in place, the next piece of the puzzle is making sure the right patients can actually find you when they turn to Google for help. This is where we earn their attention.
For any local medical practice, your Google Business Profile, your GBP, is probably your single most critical digital asset. It's that little box that pops up in Google Maps and search results. Optimizing it is not optional. You've got to pick the most specific category possible, make sure your name, address, and phone number, your NAP, are identical everywhere online, and actively use features like posts in the Q&A section.
And this quote right here, this is a perfect example of how real people actually search. They don't use complicated medical terms. They describe their problem and their location in plain English. Your entire online strategy has to be built around answering these kinds of real-world questions.
Okay, so a patient finds you on Google. They click through to your website. Now what? Your website has just a few seconds to turn that click into genuine trust. And that critical job is done by 5 essential pages.
You can think of these 5 pages as the backbone of your digital office. Each one has a critical job to do, from introducing who you are on the About Us page to proving you get results on the Testimonials page. Together, they work to answer questions, calm anxieties, and prove you're the right choice.
You might be surprised to learn that this is often the second most visited page on a medical website, right after the homepage. And why is that? Because patients want to know who is going to be treating them. This isn't just a place for a dry resume. It's where you humanize your practice with a professional photo, your credentials, and, most importantly, your personal philosophy of care.
Now, for the pages that detail what you actually do, every single page that's dedicated to a condition you treat needs to follow this simple but really powerful formula. First, you define the patient's problem, so they feel heard and understood. Then you clearly explain your treatment. Then you show proof, that's your EAT again, and finally, you make it incredibly simple for them to take that next step.
And that leads us perfectly into the final and maybe most crucial step, turning a visitor who trusts you into a patient who is actually scheduled. Because all the amazing content and SEO in the world won't mean a thing if this last step is a pain.
Let this sink in for a second. Friction is poison. Every extra step, every confusing field on a form, every single moment of hesitation is another chance for a potential patient to just give up and leave. So your number one goal here is to make booking an appointment as smooth and painless as possible.
Here's a really simple rule of thumb to aim for. From the moment someone lands on your homepage, they should be able to find and select an appointment time in just 2 clicks. That's it. 1 click to book an appointment and a second click to pick a time slot. 2 clicks.
And finally, of course, you can improve what you don't measure. If you're not tracking your efforts, you're basically just guessing. You have to focus on the metrics that actually matter, like your cost per acquisition, how much it costs to get 1 new patient, and your website's booking rate. This is the data that tells you what's working and what's not. So, we have covered this entire journey, all the way from search to schedule. After all of that, what's the one thing, the single most immediate and high-impact action you can take today to start making a real difference? It all comes back to this, your Google business profile. It is your digital front door. It is very often the first impression a new patient will ever have of your practice. So start right there. Go claim your profile, audit every single detail to make sure it's perfect, and optimize it to be the most accurate, trustworthy reflection of the excellent care you provide.